a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. Yeah. Turn on your mind now. Tune into the feed. We're planting digital flowers from a single tiny seed. Yeah, power to the collective in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice and control.
Paranoid searching for a full vision ride. Under surveillance, nowhere to hide. Influence creeps like blood on the floor. Fine line between peace and war. From campus to crypt, the script lives tragic, mystic and twisted. Magic turn manic. All through lingers, but the echo remain. Chains of the slain in eternal pain.
And here we go.
Welcome to the freak show, the best in town.
What is going on, Hive? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. It's Thursday, so I'm suited up. Thursdays are now the day that when Sammy T Mafia is on the stream, we will both be in suits, as we deserve to be taken more serious. I mean, we are the only channel that's really willing to consistently say that the Idaho 4 case has officially gone off the rails. It's turned into a dumpster fire, and nobody that could extinguish it is doing anything about it. So we're going to do our best this evening. We have a great stream lined up for you. We're going to be talking about not only the WSU lawsuit, but the mainstream sentiment, the mainstream energy that is being pushed very, very hard out of nowhere. It's almost like they're monitoring social media. I actually wouldn't doubt that these channels and these giant conglomerates, of media organizations are not watching, the general public speak about it so that they can kind of gauge their temperature. We're like definitely pushing more towards the truth than they are. And they go, well, hang on. Why isn't anybody believing us anymore? Maybe we got to discredit them more. That's what we're going to do. It was Brian Kohberger that posed the bodies. Brian Kohberger, he pleaded guilty because he stabbed Xana Kernodle 67 times, and that's how he got the scratches, even though there's none of his DNA under any of their fingernails. So you can stick that where the sun doesn't shine either. But nonetheless, I'm your host, Birdie. I go live weeknights at 7 p.m. Central. Welcome to the Hive Mind. This is a contrarian thinking live stream. So we think past the headlines. We question the narrative. So if you're easily rattled or offended on behalf of others, you're not going to like the stream. However, if you like to critically think and read the footnotes, look into stuff, you have found your people, you're amongst friends. If it doesn't sound like you can do one of two things. I would say you could scroll away now, or you can hang out, ruin your night, talk some shit in the chat. That's okay. We don't mind it. We know how to have a discussion. We're all adults in here. We are emotionally mature. We can handle it. We're passionate about this. So we'll hear you out. Just don't troll, don't spam, don't threaten. I got the best mods on YouTube, formerly known as Beck, Discord Dawn, UFO Dog, and Luna Bliss will give you enough leash to hang yourself. And what makes the Hive so special is the chat. The chat is the Hive Mind. So you will regularly see comments put up onto the screen. And at times it can completely change the course of where I'm going to go because of an awesome comment. Or sometimes a clown horn comment. But nonetheless, I'm excited for tonight. Sammy's backstage. I'm going to bring her up rather quickly. While you guys are filing in and I'm saying what's up to everybody, please go ahead, tap that like button. I'm going to go ahead and put this full screen. If you guys want to screenshot this, and then when the live concludes, just tap the QR code. That will take you to all the Hive's social links. If you do join our Discord, which is what I would recommend you join immediately, it's awesome. Just make sure you have the app downloaded on your phone prior to clicking on the link. But my TikTok is up there. The Hive Mind merch store is there as well. And I would appreciate if you hit like and subscribe. Now, real quick, I'm going to go through. I'm going to say what's up to everybody. Kimberly is in here. Lisa Marie, Frisco Chick, UFO Dog. Shout out to one of my mods. Reasonable Doubter 22. Sherry Brock. Critic Rick. Great to see you. Were you first today, Critic Rick? First in the chat. That's what I mean. Alania Maya. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. Uncle Daddy, what's going on? Hey, it's Ray. Down the rabbit hole to hell. God's my sugar daddy. Hangman's joke. Crime Spy. Social Glow. Crystal Falco. Frisco Chick. Tara B. Sherry Brock. Diana Boss 4167. K Cam. Go Meta. Matilda. Gramilla. Aqua Marine Sailing. D-Dog Wifey. Lucky Pride one says, my people. I love it. I typically pick intro songs. I've said this before to kind of set whatever type of energy the stream's going to be. I do wonder if Brian Koberger was walking into these hearings just thinking to himself, like, here I go again on my own. I don't know how he couldn't be thinking that. If he's this genius criminology student that knows people are overcharged and forced into plea deals, he's probably thinking one of two things. One, thank God I'm in on this and I know what's happening, which doesn't seem to be a stretch as much as you might think after the fact, after a few years. Or two, he's probably just sitting there in silence saying, I cannot wait to get a new lawyer because Ann Taylor may not have done the best that she could have, whether that's on purpose or not, right? Is it a chess move? Not sure. Nobody's really sure. We can only hold on to hope that there's something going on in the background for so long. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Miss Sammy T. Mafia. What's up, Sammy? How are you doing?
Suited and booted.
I love it. Looking good, looking fly. How's your night going?
Oh, it's going well. The White Steak song sent me. I love this.
Did you like that song?
I did, very much so.
I told you. I said, hey, I got a good intro song for the suits and the theme.
Here we go again on our own.
It certainly feels like that. And I got to give a shout out. I've been doing this the last couple of streams. To everybody that has been tuning into Sammy and I, even back on TikTok. Do you realize how much the environment of this case has changed? And we need to hold our heads high. We went through it, right? We were in the trenches with, you know, the final boss of trolls. I mean, you should see some of these people and just how much they must hate themselves when they look in the mirror based on the comments they leave.
The amount of TikToks that I had censored and blown up when I was just cracking that huge amount of followers and getting monetized. It was so sad. So sad. But, you know, I look back and now it just reminds me the situation now with the public. We were talking about this earlier. It's that Liam Neeson Naked Gun meme where everything's like blowing up in the background and he's like, don't pay attention to everything blowing up in the background. That's where we're at with the media. So it's so ridiculous. Like, did you guys even see what came out? We know you did.
I will take what you said. This is what comes to my mind is this Billy Madison meme where he's got the oven mitts on and he's clapping. He's like, yeah, everything's on fire, but we're going to laugh and we're going to clap along and we're just going to go with it. And did you hear my point in the intro, Sammy, about it certainly feels like social media is being monitored.
It does.
Okay. Do you guys think that too in the Hive here? It feels like it. Like the titles of the articles are just exactly what the Idaho 4 people on YouTube or TikTok or X or Rumble are talking about.
And it feels very odd that every time a document dump happens that goes against the narrative or pokes holes in it, needless to say, the same band of characters that you would hope would come on there and say, wow, this is illuminating. This makes me question the narrative. They come on there and just double and triple down and say even stranger things like, let's latch back onto the stalking narrative. Let's have Howard Blum on and talk about complaints from WSU that it's ridiculous. It's like, how is this how is this happening? I almost feel like, what world are these people living in?
Well, that is why the title of this stream is This is What They're Hiding. They are hiding the fact that I am convinced that they know this in their
Me too.
boardrooms.
Me too.
They're hiding the fact that they are absolutely hiding the fact that they're not this dumb. They're not dumb. They wouldn't have gotten to these positions by being that dumb. We've seen all of these talking heads, again, that have their head right up where the sun doesn't shine. We've seen them do great work over the years. Otherwise, they wouldn't be where they're at. They wouldn't have the names that they have.
Right.
And then for this case, they're just like, you know what? Let me put the blinders on. Let me put the blindfold on. Let me just, I don't know if they're ready to retire. I don't know if what's going on. Where's the passion for reporting?
Well, it's passion, but it's for a narrative. It's passion for a narrative. Like, let's have Nancy Grace on, see how high her eyebrow can raise. Almost like when you like jack up a car and you're just like, go, go, go. And you're like, wow, that's great. You got the car up so high. Her eyebrows just like cranking up higher and higher. It's amazing. I don't know how somebody's eyebrow can go so high, and I even have high arches, but there's no lines. It's kind of an amazement.
Well, I do wonder in general if not only do they know that they're lying, have they been in the game so long that they know their stories, that this is just what they do? And really, as of late, the public has finally picked up on it. I've always wondered about that. How many times has this really been the case, but the public hasn't been keen to communicating in real time via the internet? And maybe early on in their career, everyone's like, oh my God, they're doing the best reporting ever. But if the internet was around, they would get shit on. Like,
yeah, I mean, nobody's looking at this and saying to themselves, this couldn't be, even the basic things like saying, this couldn't just be one person. Instead, they're going into, and we're going to talk about this, the WSU lawsuit, and look at these complaints. As if Brian Koberger, even if they fired him, guys, even if they fired him, you're saying he has no autonomy and wouldn't be able to do this on his own? I mean, what, even if WSU, okay, he was such a red flag, which by the way, he wasn't, otherwise this would have gotten to that level. But even if he was, if they fired him, okay, he couldn't go out on his own autonomy and kill people if he wasn't working at WSU. What sense does this make?
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't make any sense. And I want to get into the Discord question of the day. And then there are 2 articles that are breaking news that Sammy and I have for you guys. I don't believe that anybody has seen these yet. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
These are crazy.
Crazy.
But we're going to go through the Discord question of the day first. And Tinfoil Hat Claire has been putting in work in the Discord on these questions. And I think, Sammy, this kind of correlates exactly to what I had just said about, it seems like they're monitoring social media. And Tinfoil Hat Claire asked, do you think that the recent photo drops of the crime scene was done to purposefully weaken the WSU lawsuit or to taint the jury like they did with Brian Koberger? And it certainly seems like since that lawsuit was filed,
it gives them a new talking point.
Exactly.
Yeah, we get to talk about things now. Now we have, since there's nothing in the arsenal or the tank, because they came out and said he wasn't on scene that we can pull him. We have no connection to him with the victims. He never stalked. Now we can, there's no DNA or forensics. So this new lawsuit gives new talking points, and the Goncalveses can't wait to go on there and talk about those talking points.
I agree. I agree. It's like, are they helping or hurting the lawsuit by going on there and saying things that are like timing advance records? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, they're going on. It's problematic for like a lot of reasons, but mainly because if the FBI doesn't get sued for following in this case, what did we hear? The FBI violated their own policy to even nail the IgG stuff and whatever. Okay. do we see a civil lawsuit for that? They violated their own policy. What law is being broken here? I've yet to hear a statute, a case where the law is being broken, so this is why we need to sue.
And it's in big productions. It's in I believe it's in the Amazon, or it's in one series. I forget which one, but they talk about how they're kind of like, yeah, the FBI is breaking their guidelines, and they kind of just turned a blind eye to it.
Oh yeah, because it's fine if it's just guidelines. They can break their own guidelines. Just like for Congress, they can enforce when you ignore showing up to Congress and ignoring a subpoena or not. Like Bill Clinton recently for the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. $10 million, he's not getting arrested. I mean, it's
wild.
It's protocols. It's just fine.
So I think, to sum it up, yes, tinfoil hat, Claire. I think both Sammy and myself, we agree with you. The temperature, the narrative, the environment around, the public narrative has absolutely changed in the last 14 days or 10 days since it's been filed, whatever it was. So yes, that's a great question, and I agree with you. Now
we know it's a civil case. Somebody should know it's a civil case. I know, but even in civil actions, there needs to be law behind it. Like the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni case, the judge is going to take off. If this even goes to trial, he has to look at a civil complaint and say, what is the law? Is there a law about you nuzzling? No. You know what I'm saying? Is there a law that actors can't improv? No. I mean, this is insane. It's just the same point with the WSU thing. Is there a law saying that if they don't do certain things and follow protocols down to the red letter, it's violation of some sort of statute? No.
I agree with that. And I think that goes to a very common denominator in the Idaho 4 case that I've talked about on this channel. I know people in the chat have felt there is a legal precedent that will be set from the Idaho 4. Whether it's a Koberger law, whether it's something from this lawsuit, there's going to be something, everybody. It always happens. Every time there's something like on this magnitude, they always will codify and ride the coattails of a new law on the backs of that tragedy. They're going to do it. So that was a great question. Now, Sammy, this is not the articles yet. Okay. So hold tight, everybody. This has to be one of what I put on screen next. You know what? I'll put it on screen. I'm going to read it. Dawn Rosie. I appreciate this comment so much. I had a solo laughing fit, literally by myself driving. I had to text my mods because Dawn said, Birdie, I don't know if anyone noticed, but in the King Road cam, right after the horrific scream, you can hear a clown horn. Am I behind? Was this ever noticed before? And I said, by chance, was this on one of my live streams where I had put it full screen and in the background I did. So, I mean, I literally, I'm just like, oh my gosh, that is so funny because if maybe it was somebody's first time tuning in and they had no idea.
Could you imagine? And they were like, he's a clown, Ringling Brothers. We need to FOIA request.
Oh, this was just so funny to me where I'm like, well, ma'am, that was me. That was me. You know what I mean? Like, I did the clown horn. Yes, because I believe that I was, blowing the clown horn because I don't know how nobody heard it. I don't know how anybody didn't hear that scream. So that's why I did that. But
it was me. I blew that clown horn.
Yep, it was me. But yeah, I'm surprised that Nancy Grace and Ashley Banfield and Brian Enton and everybody's not talking about Brian Koberger used a clown horn to signal the victims that he was there to help them. That's what he was about to do.
I heard.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you've heard about this. So headlines, these news organizations, they're on it, Sammy. And I have breaking news right here for the Hive.
Good.
Brian Koberger now has reportedly 8 Xana's DoorDash order. Okay. We have no evidence of this. There's no documentation of it, but F it, it's good enough. We know a bunch of stuff that you don't know. Who needs proof? We think he probably ate the fries.
I think after he, murdered 4 people in Kill Bill level of precision and time, and he just decided no more veganism. It's time to eat a hamburger.
Yep.
And it just shows everybody that this is what happens. Like, you get very back into your old set ways. You just dump everything you stood for and you ate a hamburger.
That's what I mean. So Brian Koberger, that's a part of being an incel. And when you pick a house at random and you have no idea that they ordered DoorDash,
right?
It is customary for these incel that's his like serial killer digital or not digital. It's his calling card. He eats their DoorDash and then he leaves a sheath, but there's no DNA. So
right. And like the rest of his life, he lives, very super monitored on his diet, where he's going to these Whole Food stores. He really cares about just being a vegan. And then after he murders, it's his one time to just be a complete pig and take mounds of fries and just shove it in his mouth, and burgers and ketchup and onion and pickle, and just go hog wild.
Yeah.
And so that's how you know it was him.
He even left a smiley face in curly fries on the floor, Sammy.
No, it had some ketchup in it. So that's how we know.
And this isn't the only headline. There's one more. And Sammy, I believe that you found this one.
I did find this one.
The local man's internet history is too weird to ignore. And I'll let you break this one down.
Well, this is a little bit more demure than what the one I read. I'll read the one I read. It says Brian Koberger and his obsession with vegan porn. From the device history of quadruple murderer Brian Koberger, we are learning through another release from Moscow police that reveals not only his obsession with big busty porn stars, but ones who enjoy eating vegan and utilizing vegan cooking in the porn plot. It's been 3 years since the lives of 4 innocent students were taken from the University of Idaho in a quadruple homicide at the hands of Brian Koberger. And due to more documents being released, we are peering into the demented mind of a maniac. He seems to access the website veganbustybitches.com more than any other site in his search history. His storied search history has titles such as Eggplant, No Meat, Debbie Does Dairy Free, Poke My Bowl, Cruelty-Free Cream Pies, among other sinister porn titles. This type of vegan porn proves guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, exclaimed prosecutor Bill Thompson on Wednesday when asked for comment. He said anyone watching the Big Lebowski veggie burger and zucchini, the organic intruder, is a murderer. When we ask for comment from the families of the victims, we haven't heard back. We'll keep you posted on this ongoing story.
The zucchini awakens. That's what happens. But no, and I was talking to Sammy about this. We decided to do these articles because there seems to be this energy around the Idaho 4, right? Mm-hmm. It's a true crime case. And I was asking Sammy on the phone, I said, Sammy, how many cases do you know the actual serial killer and you don't know any of the victims or their families, but yet they get talked about all the time? And I had this realization and I said, this is in a way, this social engineering, because watch South Park or Family Guy or the roast of Justin Bieber, the roast of Tom Brady. Watch all these adult type comedy shows. These are real people, real events. And there is this, it's like using a meme, not being outright disrespectful and a piece of scum where you just say they deserved it. And that's, by the way, that is not what we're doing.
That.
But humor and memes and comedy is one of the best ways to wake people up because of the delivery mechanism. And that's proven. Look at how many memes have red pilled people, or look at how many, comedians have made a joke about something and it's like kind of clicks where you're like, oh,
well, when you got Nancy Grace up there and she's saying, Did you read that lawsuit? And can you believe they
pretty good.
didn't fire? They didn't fire him? And it's like, how is what I just said not any different to this absolute bullshit? And she is considered legitimate.
Well, and I want to make sure that I make this point. This is not downplaying any of the seriousness of the situation. It's just you can only take the and it's not like we're going to stop doing it, but it's you can only take the live digs and the minutia, really diving in to a certain topic or a crime scene photo or a document to get to the masses. We want to wake the masses up so that there are people that can do something. Our goal is to get people's eyes on this case, viewing it from our angle, Hive. That's our goal. We want people to see it through the lens of it is a ridiculous timeline, a ridiculous narrative. And how do you get people to pay attention to it? Well, you can't just read. And I'm not saying that it's not important, but not everybody's interested in looking at crime scene photos, looking at court documents. They want the quick, what is going on? Why is this wrong? Why are people diving into it? Why is this on my FYP? And that's really what Sammy and I just wanted to take 5 minutes there and just, kind of put out, onto the stream.
I also think if you want, and this is interesting, humor, like when you're talking about true crime, do you know who was fired from SNL for getting too close to humorous and truth? It's Norm Macdonald. It was
Did he really?
Oh yeah, he got shit canned from SNL because he was the host of Weekend Update, and he was told, "You better shut the F up about the OJ jokes," and because Lorne Michaels was, I guess, besties with OJ or somebody from NBC. Somebody was high up in NBC was like
got offended
and was like, "We're not doing this." And Norm Macdonald would not stop shoehorning in OJ jokes every chance he could. They actually had a meeting right before he went on air, and he just let it rip. And then he was shit canned. And then he went on to like The Tonight Show and Letterman, who he loved. By the way, if anybody ever wants to watch something emotional, nobody knew Norm Macdonald was dying of cancer. And David Letterman was retiring, and he was like a huge fan of Letterman. So he gave this great stand-up set, and then he started getting emotional, talking about how much he loved Letterman and watched him. And then he started crying and gave Dave a hug, and Dave looked emotional too, which is very odd for Letterman. Both characters giving emotion as like people was not something you normally see, which was super, I guess, for watchers who are fans of them both. For me, it was emotional watching both of them. And he was actually dying of cancer, and he didn't tell anybody. But Norm Macdonald just said, fuck it. And he did exactly what he wanted to do, the comedy he wanted to do. But him doing that put this case too more in the front space of the humor.
And it's human psychology.
Yeah.
You can't expect that everybody, it's like there's different things that interest different people. And I don't think that we need to explain it. Just think about your own personal interests. What got you interested in it? Was it always the really serious people about it? Was it, a little bit of comedy? Was it because you had a random find of interest in it, or you randomly found the interest in it? And we're going to be getting into some serious stuff now here, because this is a video. This is a video from Connor.H8. I've shown a couple of his stuff or a couple of his clips on stream. I posted this on TikTok and as a short, kind of as a teaser earlier today. If you have not seen this video, this is remarkable. And it actually kind of put me in a blender because I'm not sure what to make of it. It seems authentic, like meaning their reactions. You know how sometimes when we listen to these interviews and we listen to the interrogations, it seems coached or it seems staged.
Yeah.
This sounds like and looks like just guys being dudes that are cops. And I'm going to go ahead and play this, and then I want to get your thoughts, Sammy.
Okay.
I have subtitles on here.
And they didn't answer. So I think somewhere in there. So fucking they heard screams and didn't call. Fucking they heard screams and didn't call. Fucking they heard screams and didn't call. And one of them says that she saw a guy in a black mask, with a black mask on in the house.
I mean, that's the most honest looking reaction that I believe that we've seen.
Now,
I mean, this should stay
you
on the
wanna know
screen
why I
right
think
here.
this is super genuine? Is because he said, so they fucking heard
Yes.
screams. And so for everybody who hates my potty mouth, you know, pound sand, it's not changing. But I think there's a genuineness to people who utilize swear words in their lexicon regularly, and then they color it and say, fucking heard. Like that means it's unbelievable to you that could happen. You fucking heard screams and
Yeah,
you
it's
didn't
almost
call.
yeah,
It's
it's
not
almost
if they would have said, so she heard some screams and she decided not to call, which is weird, but I understand. Like if there was some sort of like, but that to me seems genuine.
and this reaction too, where not only did he say, wait, they heard the screams, which by the way, they were saying 4:30, 5:30, sometime in between there. Right. So I
Mhm.
know that it's within minutes of them being on scene, right? So
Right.
take that with a grain of salt. But the fact that I believe this is Snyder's body cam, he said, didn't call. And then Gunderson follows up with, and he saw somebody in the house, and she saw somebody in the house with a black mask. And this guy, and they look at each other, and you can tell that they're looking at each other
Like
behind this body cam. He's
what?
probably looking at him like, what?
Bro, that's unbelievable. Who's buying this? 2 planes went into a skyscraper and it just crumbled at free fall speed. Who's buying this? Just kidding.
Well, no, I get it. And I don't know what to make of it. That's why I said when I saw this and I posted it, I kind of was put in a blender because I'm thinking to myself, this seems like one of the only realistic conversations.
And the one where the officer was in the back, right? And he's looking at, they're in the back and they're like, look at the footprints going away from the scene and in the snow. And so they're kind of like marking where they are. They're taking pictures and he's like, look at where they go. They're tying off the back area. And they're genuinely looking at things they've never seen before. It's the first time. And you could tell that this person notices these footprints in the back in the snow. And then do we ever hear anything about where those footprints lead? Because they lead into another person's yard. Like they hop a fence and then they go over the fence. And then it's like, so what happened to that train of thought? Did that just evaporate?
I saw a good comment that somebody, I forgot their username and I apologize to who just said this, but they had said Gundy's in the know. And I will say the way that Gundy reacts, it could be like, I don't know. Like, I got to say that. Like, you don't know, but I know.
You don't know, but I know.
That I could see that. I think that was a great point. And thank you for whoever said that. And please, let me know if you said that. And if I see it, I'll put it up on screen. But yeah, I mean, it could be he's in the know. He knows that Snyder's not. We've all said.
I agree with that because that face isn't one of like, this is so flabbergasting. Like I'd be like this, like, yeah, that face is more like shucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna replay it again. Let's listen to it now, thinking as if Gundy's in the know. Is Gundy giving these details in a way that he's making it maybe sound like, hey, yeah, I'm just investigating this, even though this dude knew exactly what it was prior. And let's watch and listen to his tone and let's watch his body language.
And they didn't answer.
You know what I'm going to do, though? I'm going to turn it up just a bit because I think I can. All right. Hopefully that helps. So if you got headphones on, it's going to be about 100% louder.
And she, one of them,
Whoops.
and they didn't answer. So I think somewhere in there. So fucking they heard screams and didn't call. Fucking they heard screams and
That's
didn't
real.
call. Fucking they heard screams and didn't call. And she, one of them, says that she saw a guy in a black mask with a black mask on in the house.
That's fake.
I don't know. Now that we're watching it again, I don't know.
I mean, that seems a little fake, but here's the other one. Did you notice his hands go like this go back a little. He goes like, he goes like this.
With a black mask on in the house.
See his hands spread? Watch. Wait, no, go back. All the way.
She saw a guy in a black mask with a black mask on in the house.
No, it's back a little bit.
Fuck.
It's back.
Well, I don't know
all
if
the
I'll be
way.
able to stop it with it. I'll have to go here. I'll just do this. You tell me.
So go back. It's it's all the way in the beginning.
What?
See that? How he spreads his hands? Watch.
Yeah.
Okay, look. Hold on.
Think so.
Okay.
Is that good enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What are you saying?
Now watch his hands. The way he spreads apart his fingers when he says something. It's weird. Look.
Somewhere in there. So fucking they heard screams and didn't call.
Oh,
This. They fucking heard screams and they didn't
I don't
call.
know.
Like there's this, I mean, and they're both hands actually. They're both hands. Like it's exasperated. Like they fucking
It's almost
heard
like
screams
it's almost like
and
a
they didn't
stress-
call.
Yeah. It's like
It's
a stress thing.
It's like a release, but I'm not sure because the hands are tense. Because if you do this position and you like actually do it yourself and you're like this, it's actually you're physically doing something. Like your hands are purposely. It's more like a forward motion, like a propelling of your fingers. Like you're.
I think Mary Tyler just summed it up in a word: externalizing. Right. So
Yeah.
it's a great word for it. And I don't know. I mean, I could be persuaded either way on that. Given the rest of Gunderson's given the rest of Gunderson's body language on body cams, this to me doesn't really seem like it matches, especially when he's around.
Can I ask you something? Does it seem aligned when he goes like this, right? And then he goes like, like, so we have this, and then we have, like, do you know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. And
it seems like a little miss, like it's a little disjointed in his reaction. We have a, and then we have a,
yeah. And I was going to say, it definitely doesn't match when he's around his superiors. When he's around those detectives, he's like, I got to get Snyder out of here. And he's very calm. He's quiet spoken.
Yeah.
And he's not very, he's not using any mannerisms with his hands, to your point. I think that the hands are a great call out. And I'll play it from here one last time.
Fucking they heard screams and didn't call. Fucking they heard screams and didn't call. And one of them says that she saw a guy in a black mask with a black mask on in the house.
I don't know. Somebody said he bought that mustache and the glasses from Spencer's before he showed up.
It's very what's his name? Tom Selleck.
Well,
3 Men
either
and
way,
a Baby.
I wanted to make sure that I showed that. And next up, I got Sherlock Holmes. I saw Sherlock was in here.
I love Sherlock.
I love Sherlock too. Great dude. And very, very smart. And Sherlock had posted this. Usually whenever I see Sherlock does a post where he's typing, I will read it because usually there's a plethora of knowledge. And I would say if you guys don't subscribe to Sherlock, his username is no shit with a couple of eyes. Sherlock. You guys will see his username in here.
3 eyes, and he's great on TikTok too.
Yeah. Yep. Great analysis and synopsises for people that like to think like we do. But here's what Sherlock said. The crime scene photos, just unsealed, were withheld from Brian's defense team the entire time leading up to the plea deal. That's right. Ann Taylor and team are seeing this all for the first time, along with the rest of us. In fact, there were 398 forensic photos in totals that were withheld in discovery in the 2+ years Brian was trying to fight for his freedom. Hashtag release Brian now. This is wholesale illegal in every conceivable way. There was literally no way. There was no way for him to defend himself at all with all this exculpatory evidence withheld. Where the is every defense attorney right now? I don't think Brian's post-plea team should wait any longer on this. File and relitigate now.
1,000%. I was also thinking if he were to relitigate this now that all the forensics and the reports this information is out, which I thought was maybe some of the strategy for the plea deal, like wait till it all comes out, because they did hide so much and bury so much. Karen Reed, if you followed this case, okay, in the beginning, in the first trial, which was a hung jury, they went full speed ahead with the police corruption, which was, of course, there. But you have to think that it's a lot harder for people to buy into a conspiracy than it is to prove the truth when it comes to forensics. So they changed their strategy in the second trial, and all they had to do was say the injuries that John O'Keefe, her boyfriend, sustained do not match being hit with a vehicle at this speed, and they can't prove it, and the medical examiner did not say otherwise. So they pushed it into more of a fact realm than a conspiracy realm, even though, in my opinion, if I were on that dumb fuck jury the first time, I would have said not guilty all day and twice on Sunday. Point being, Brian Kohberger, I think this time, now that he has more of the factual evidence, if this were to be appealed or he was going to do something, he needs to lead it. He needs to really go heavy-handed, whoever his attorney is going to be, on being like, these forensics show obvious cleanup, reasonable doubt. Who is creating all these wounds? And there's no blood-tracked shoe prints, but the ones we do have are cleaned up. Where is the time that they're cleaning this up? How is this happening? Who is sustaining these people while one is being injured? I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. The amount of time that it would have, the diluted forensics, the blood on the wall, the common areas that are wiped up. It's incredible. And when you see this all in these photographs, you're just thinking to yourself, okay, obviously this isn't one person. Even if you were to say, I'm not sure if it was him or not, it's not. But even if you were to go down this path, it's impossible for one person to do all this.
It's not only impossible, but am I the only one that as of late, I've started seeing more comments when I'm on TikTok or on YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels? Everybody, it's weird. I don't know if it's a bot farm. And I say this, not even trying to troll. Go look on people's videos that are thinking like we are about this case and go in their comments. Tell me if you see Ted Bundy typed in all caps. Just that, just Ted Bundy in all caps. I've seen it. It's like as of 2 days ago that started. And it's like these random profiles. They look like real people, but it's like I had 9 people that typed Ted Bundy in all caps on one of my videos. Then I go to my other videos. I got 3, and then I go to a different video. I got 2. It was on YouTube for a couple of them. And, people are saying, I've noticed that too every time. Luna says, I've seen it so many times. It's almost like that has to be a paid for bot farm to type that.
To correlate it back.
It's interesting that it's the same phrase. And you can say, oh, Ted Bundy had accomplished the same thing. Ted Bundy talked about how he would do it. Ted Bundy confessed, right? Ted Bundy.
I wish it was Ted Kaczynski, because then
no shit.
We could talk about how our government makes killers.
Well, and I would say like, yeah, right. No kidding. And I would say if you guys see the Ted Bundy in all caps, just do a little bit of, investigative work on yourself. Click on their profile. Tell me, is it a legitimate page or
And
are
a
they
lot
just,
of times, do you notice too, it's like just made like 2 weeks ago?
yeah, or they
Yeah.
just repost. They don't post. They just repost. And I know some people do that, but you'll notice it's like they'll follow 10,000 and then they have like 100 followers or whatever it is. It's absurd numbers. And I noticed that in the last, 2 days. And so going back to what Sherlock said,
Yeah.
this is insane. It's insane. And I think that this is another reason why Sammy and I chose to kind of troll with our fake headlines, because I saw a headline earlier that Brian Koberger admitted his guilt and took the plea deal because he stabbed Xana 67 times and he was going to get caught because of the scratches on him. Are these people that dumb? Did he have?
They brought back the stalking narrative. I just
know.
watched something where they're like, they brought up the civil lawsuit and they said he was stalking women, and they said it was Nancy Grace and some other atrocious looking, I can't accept my age person. I mean, I swear to God, people need to accept the way they look, like Julie Andrews or Audrey Hepburn. Just do not do whatever the fuck woman lawyer was on with Nancy Grace.
I have that clip.
Oh, please play it. It's so horrific.
Is it this one?
It's jarring. It's like, yeah. Well, no, that's Maureen Callahan. I like her.
Oh.
It's a different person. It's this other. I don't know who this person is, but she's on there and she's like, he was a possible rapist. He's a potential rapist. What's so he didn't rape anyone.
That's what it is. And I watched.
WSU didn't stop a potential rapist who didn't rape anyone. I'm sorry, what?
It's wild, Sammy. And I didn't have time to screen record this. It was like a 9-minute clip from this TikTok creator. I don't even remember her name. I favorited it so that I could go back and I'll show it on stream tomorrow or the next day. She was breaking down and she's got a pretty big following. Mm-hmm. She was breaking down Koberger's. He made a TikTok and he was on TikTok at 4:48 in the morning, which is very suspicious. And then talking about all this stuff, and I go, I have woken up for work at 4, and I've not had to leave till 5:30, and I showered and I got dressed and I sit on my couch and have my coffee and I scroll TikTok at 4:48. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it, or even if I can't sleep, it was a Saturday night, like, or Sunday morning.
Imagine if like anything happens to us and people were looking in our search history based on just doing this podcast. Do you know how guilty we would look of something? It's actually it's scary.
I hope the Hive would come to save me. And all the super chats that are coming in, guys, I've been doing, when I have a guest on, I've been answering them all at the end. Okay, so just know I will get to them.
Do you want to answer? Let's do a couple just for fun. I want to see what they say.
Okay. We got Miss T-Do Drop said, thank you for sticking to the truth. Watch your back. It is dangerous to question the narrative these days. Those who refuse to comply become targets. Stay safe. 1984 is here. Let me just say this.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the dangerous type of internet cancellation, the dangerous type of internet woke, or whatever the hell buzzword you want to say to it, I believe is coming back in general about whatever topic. It just seems that there is this energy that's back online now. Really, I don't know if it's the Minneapolis thing. I don't know what it is.
It's the Larry Ellison bought TikTok thing. Listen, time I hashtag Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk, my videos get 0 views.
Yeah, they don't even upload.
Nope. Takes forever. 0 views. It's like I'm in jail.
It's wild. But I just stay safe out there. You know, I don't know if I'm older than anybody in here, or if I'm younger, if I'm in the middle. Let me just say, stay safe. Understand there's a digital footprint, right? We all got to just be reminded of that sometimes. Everybody's got multiple devices.
Yeah.
So
I'm going for like this, I guess you could say, promotion sort of thing for my job. And I mean, I have a county job, but it's a state job. But so I'm like thinking to myself, oh my God, if they were to like find out my TikTok, they'd be like, what do I do? Do they look at my stuff? I mean, can they find this? And then when they see this and they're like, she is a complete revolutionary. I mean, she's just like burn it all down, baby, sort of person. You know, I don't know what they're going to do, but I really want this job. So I'm like, I'm fine with where I'm at, but in my head, I'm thinking to myself, yeesh, like they're probably going to look at my feed and think to themselves, well, she seems like a bit of a revolutionary. She's a little, and I'm a little nervous about that.
I'll give you guys a tip that I've learned since I've started doing this. And in general, I think that this is just a good practice to have. So there's a handful of companies that will do this. One of the more popular ones, I didn't use this specific company, but they are probably the biggest in their field, it's called Delete Me. And what you do is you enter all of your email addresses, all of your previous addresses, your phone numbers, and your family members' emails, their addresses, all that stuff. And it scrapes Google for the data on that as if advertisers or these other people like would do it on Find Me or Lookup, whatever.com, and they delete it. And it's like $220 per year. But I think that it's a good thing to just like cleanse it every now and again.
It's crazy that we even have to do that.
Right. But that's, for anybody that might be wondering how can I do something like that? That's what you do.
Think about the cases, and this is too what drives me nuts about the Idaho 4, how much they can know about something. For example, they did a geofencing for the TPUSA funeral of Charlie Kirk, which Erica Kirk was so elated to talk about in a recent leaked Zoom call, which 5 days after her husband was dead, and then 11 days, and that was a couple days after the memorial. And she was just, couldn't wait to talk about the views of the memorial, and just had to, it almost made her, it was almost painful for her to feign grief. It was really pathetic. And they said in the conference call, we know this because they had this geofencing thing. Basically, it's like a Palantir sort of thing where anybody who went to the memorial, they could soak up their data. So that's how they knew how many people were at this one location. And the only thing I could think of when they were saying what sort of data soaking up mechanism they used was, where is this for the Idaho 4? Like, we know this exists.
Well, because we have clips like this and people like this, and this was an unbelievable thing for me to see right before I went live. I didn't even tell you I was going to have this slide, Sammy. So this gentleman on X, Kevin Fixler, he said the Daily Mail's Rachel Sharp, citing the Interview Room podcast host Chris McDonough, reports that Idaho's prison system is eyeing the move of Brian Koberger out of state. Basically, he's become an annoyance. The state prison system tells me fat chance. And here is the screenshot, and I'll put this full screen. So Chris McDonough got by the Idaho Department of Corrections saying that it is not aware.
So where is he getting this from?
Well, let me read this. So not aware of the source of this information and is not considering a move for Brian Koberger. Ryan Mortensen, public information officer. Where is he getting that? Where? Yeah, that is. I did think that was weird. But where is he getting that info, dude? That's so weird that it's Ryan Mortensen. I agree. But why would McDonough say that? Either way, I think it's awesome that Rachel Sharp.
Fingerprints have been around this, like tangentially from the beginning, from finding that glove outside of the crime scene. And I think it's a little bizarre that as like a seasoned investigator, he pretends that things are, I can't believe you can see all of this and still push that narrative. I mean, if you were so, I guess like upset or in verklempt or just upset about the fact that you found a glove and they didn't even notice and it was outside a crime scene tape, and you put that in your YouTube video, which anybody can go back and watch, you were so upset about what a shitty job they were doing, then why are you holding on to the Bible, also known as the PCA, this hard and believing all this bullshit? You walked around the scene for 2 seconds and found a glove that had blood on it.
It's so weird. It's so weird. And we are attacked by looking at what these people put out at these big mainstream channels. We dissect it. We break it down. We say, this is why it's not true. We're like their backroom interns.
They hate us so
They
much.
hate us.
Nancy Grace did a whole segment, I think it was this week, about how sick we are as people. Like, we're sick people. Can you believe? And a part of me, not a part of me, probably 75% of me was like, they pretend, and this is the worst, most unscrupulous, cunty part of them, is they hate the fact that your channel is getting more views, more likes, more saturation, even when when the algorithm downplays you, right? Like, even when you're being stomped out as much as possible by, Big Brother and the Zionist overlords who are like, don't say anything. They hate us so much, not because of what we're saying, but because we're winning, but because people are coming to us more. They want you to come to the circus sideshow freak eyebrows of Nancy Grace more than us. And they're mad that you're not going for the person who quoted the phrase "tot mom" for the Kaylee Anthony case, right? Like, that's why they're upset. Legitimately, they don't give a shit about these victims. Let me be clear.
Well-
They don't give a shit about these victims. They're mad that you're usurping their views.
Well, and I just, first of all, thank you, because I agree. And you're a part of that. The Hive's a part of that. I don't really ever share analytics. Not that I'm hiding anything. I mean, I think that people can feel the momentum that the Hive has. I got this alert from YouTube today. I screenshotted this. Your hard work paid off. Publishing more helped your channel get 99% more views than usual. Your channel got 811,000 views, which is 356,000 to 400,000 more than it usually gets in 28 days. Hive, we doubled the views of the Hive in the last 28 days. And you want to know why? Because we have not stopped. Yeah, well, it could be the suits. It could be the suits, but we've not stopped. And I just want to, again, it's a shout out to you guys.
It's the Hive.
It's all of us, because we know, we feel it. We know that we are onto something.
Can I read the poem I wrote for the Hive?
Sure. Yeah.
So I had this and this is not anything. I mean, I'm not Emerson here or Edgar Allan Poe, but I wrote this because I was like, I love the Hive so much. And I think it's breaking, I really think you're breaking through. And this is why they're so angry. This is why Nancy Grace's eyebrows are elevated at an 11, because of the fact you're winning, And so I wrote this. For the Idaho 4 and for the Hive, I wrote, the heaviness, stillness of unsounded alarms hung suspended in hollow air. Decay's dance of autumn leaves and winter's chill is an inevitable affair. Yet, in the inescapable transition of November's sway, lay 4 souls' lives suddenly ripped away. Scattered footsteps, unanswered screams, tears and drops of blood spilled and cleaned. Fortunate sons and daughters led into afternoon's light, gleaned tales of uncertainty about that November night. The surviving youth spun tales of midnight revelry and drinks, of barks, cries, and laughter. Yet the clarity of the night dissolved into a confusion Shadow standing, blanketed in the cold morning light after. The echoes of violence diluted, the trace of the struggle carefully wiped, leaving only ghosts to answer when the hungry press descended and typed. The vampires of media, curious and insatiable at first, were easily hypnotized by authorities' Bible and verse. The shepherding media led the simple sheep astray, but some clever minds refused the simple play. So buried in winter's snowy grave, an astute hive arose, unflinchingly brave, never lulled into winter sleep. The deaths of these 4 souls were secrets the hive refused to keep. It's been years since that November night, but unrelenting is our fight. The truth won't stay buried, as seasons can't remain the same. The hive grows with the promise to avenge every lost soul's name.
I think it sums up the hive when it comes to, there's no secrets kept in here at all. And I think for people that don't know, you were English or a communications major, correct?
I was an English lit major, yeah.
Yeah. So you know all the big words, and that was well said. That was written by Sammy, and she sent me that. It's great.
I thought of it like the seasons, they have to change. Like they want the narrative to remain the same, but it can't. And they wanted to lull you into winter sleep. Just believe this PCA. We're going to recite it chapter and verse. We're going to tell you it over and over and over. And then you're supposed to just take that. And then there's this group of people who just refuse the play.
I agree completely. There, and you can apply it to so many things. I got this clip here. And you can apply what your poem is to exactly what is about to get said by your favorite mainstream news anchor, Sammy. I did see a comment that said, somebody said it's childish when creators talk about views. As I led with, I never talk about the views. I think that it's awesome that we all started at 0. We started at 0. We did this shit. And a lot of us from 0 are still here. And damn it, I'm okay with saying it. We should get the props. You should, in your own life.
And it means people are waking up.
It means people are waking up. And let me just say this. In your own life, when you're accomplishing a lot, don't just glance in the rearview mirror. Pull over onto the side of the road, get out of the car, and look back. Because that's when you really get to see how far you've come. And it's awesome. It is awesome. And we all did it together. Seriously. I wouldn't even be doing this at this level without you guys on YouTube. I would have just stayed on TikTok. I would have taken the strikes, but you guys suggested go to YouTube. And I was like, all right, well, I'll do it. I'll do it. And it's been the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's great. And I've met people like Sammy. I've met people like JJ State of the Deep, DA, Dago, Pav, Lana. It's amazing. We have an awesome network in the Hive that creator or chat. It's amazing. And I'm going to play this. And Sammy, after it concludes, please feel free to give your unfiltered thoughts.
Okay.
Now, Koberger's sister, her name, she goes by Mel, spoke to the New York Times. This piece was published on Wednesday, January 7th. The headline, her brother murdered 4 students. Now she's ready to talk. Well, I'm so happy that she now feels ready to tell her story. The readout in the online version says that Mel is going to talk about the Koberger families, their pain, their confusion. This thing happened the blink of an eye ago. And this piece is such a piece of journalistic malpractice. The interviewer, the guy's name is Mike Baker. He he either does not know nor does he care to read in to the details of this case. But instead, we've got crap like this in the New York Times. Feel sorry for me. My brother is a homicidal maniac who snuffed out 4 young lives and seemed to enjoy doing it. And it looks like my mom was an accessory after the fact, just my opinion. But hey, we just want to re-enter polite society. Please, won't you help us? And the New York Times says, sure, why not?
You know what? No, let me, I know I said I would give you the floor, Sammy. Let me just say this real quick. Let's enter polite society. Let's watch your eyes. Let's watch your eyes. What are you looking at?
The Koberger families, their pain.
Oh, shit.
I see what you mean.
Let's watch your eyes. What are you looking at? Are you speaking from your heart? Or are you looking over at a giant television screen that's got karaoke lyrics telling you what to say? Because I don't know about you guys. I see this woman certainly glancing over right here. Hey, right there. And hang on, and right here. And then right here. Is there somebody with a gun to your head, woman, that's off camera making you read that? Or do you feel it?
And if people who watch The Nerve, which I do regularly, and I've been a fan of Maureen Callahan's articles and columns since the New York Post, she is one of the great editorials that I love to read in opinion pieces, to be honest. If you watch The Nerve, she never does that. She never looks away when she's giving a dressing down of somebody. In fact, it's the opposite. Watch her dressing down of Alec Baldwin and Hilaria Baldwin. Watch her dressing down of Meghan Markle. Watch her dressing down. She doesn't do this.
That's what I'm saying.
Ever.
She can dress down people that are like elite, people that are in her circle probably. But when it's an everyday person, she's got to read about it, dude. Isn't that concerning?
I'm confused why it's bothering her that her family, the family of Brian Koberger is in pain. Like, so the BTK daughter has a series, some sort of documentary about, it's great, and how crazy it is to reflect back on the fact that your father was a serial killer. It's wild to me that she's angry at the New York Times for interviewing a member of his family, because she didn't do it so blatantly, the sister, of saying like, my brother's innocent, nothing like that. But she painted a picture that, yes, led to affirmation to the fact that there was no warning signs, right? Unlike the BTK thing, where the daughter would say there were signs. In retrospect, there were signs. This family is struggling because they don't see signs. They don't see it. They're very cognizant of the family and the victim's pain. And they're saying that. In the article, she was very respectful in saying, I completely respect the family's pain. But when we're looking back on the memories of our family, we do not see the same things that somebody like the BTK daughter sees.
It's wild. How is this poor me at all? That's what I'm saying, Sammy, is it goes along with now Brian Koberger posed the bodies. Okay, let's attack Koberger's sister, because somebody that actually knows this man and grew up with this man. And I would ask any of these people, have you ever talked to Brian? Do you know what he's like?
Well, this is why this article was such a problem, because psychologists could fantasize or promulgate and expound on things like, most likely in his childhood, he killed small animals, or he did this, or he fantasized about that. They could give this illusion of a serial killer in his formative years. And they were allowed to do that until somebody like his sister spelled out that their childhood was completely detached from those sorts of experiences that most people experience with actual serial killers in their family. So they're furious that they don't have these formative years that they can draw upon to say these horrible things about him, which is why, by the way, I wrote that fake article about vegan porn, because it's like they're just grasping for anything that they can. And that's why they're so angry, because that article really nullified that.
Well, and then you have one of the most out of pocket, just almost what I would call an abuse of being a journalist with a name that people know. And we have Jennifer Coffindaffer.
Oh, my favorite crusty whore.
I want. Do you want to read this? I'll let you read this in your tone,
No, sure.
Sammy.
Idaho 4. According to the defense crime scene witnesses, the evidence suggests that after both victims were killed or unresponsive, they were posed in their shared bed. Kaylee was moved from a position with her head on her pillow to partially atop of Madison. Then the comforter was placed over both of them. What? I wouldn't doubt it, because this was such a sexually motivated crime. Recall Brian Koberger Googling passed out, forced, drugged, and sleeping. He savagely brutalized Maddie and Kaylee, destroying their faces. He did pose them afterwards, or did they just end up where they did due to the killing and involuntary movement after? Only BK knows.
And then let's not forget.
That's how she would be in her like stupid. If you ever see a 5-minute segment of this woman latching onto her career in the FBI, which makes, if this woman got hired by the FBI, we should immediately liquidate this agency.
Let me just show you too what shadow banning profiles on YouTube and Google looks like. Bill Thompson, Koberger sentencing full. Because we all know Bill Thompson said, I want to make it clear this was not a sexually motivated crime. Just to have the G family get up there and say he's a pedophile, and they call for rape behind the prison walls with waiting for big D's, with even though we got A's and B's in school. We've all heard it with our own ears. I'm not making that up. They said it. I'm repeating it.
There seems to be one person obsessed with sexual crimes, and it's the victims' families. It's Jennifer Coffindaffer. Yeah.
But if I was to go on YouTube on a case that is as big as the Idaho 4, and I type in Bill Thompson, Koberger sentencing full, wouldn't you expect the full sentencing to come up from the multitude of news agencies that cover this, or people that have streamed it? No, 6 minutes, 3 minutes, 15 minutes. And then this is 55. It's a post-sentencing press conference, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, random interview, shorts, random interview. It's just Kathy Mabbitt.
Yeah, that comes first.
You
can't find it. And that's why they get to, and by the way, how wild is it that in these new interviews with families, they're talking about the stalking and this sexual crimes. And it's like, did nobody listen to the sentence? Did nobody listen to anything? The own prosecution said, not only can we place him in the house, there's no sexual crimes.
It's remarkable. And I was trying to find, here it is. I finally found it going down to like the second page. Not that I need to spend too much time if I don't click it right away, but I think Bill Thompson spoke. Did Bill Thompson speak before or after the victim impact? Do you remember?
No, it was before. Right,
So
guys?
did he start it? Or did they take Bill Thompson out?
Was it after
here
or
he is.
before, guys?
No, he's right
his
here. He's
was
right
after.
here. Okay, here we go. Let's listen
It
to
is fake tears.
Bad Santa. Here we go. This will be good. Because let's Sammy, just to reread that while I find it. I wouldn't doubt it because this was such a sexually motivated crime. Brian Koberger Googling passed out, forced, drugged, and sleeping. What is the context? Coffin Daffer? What is it?
If any drugs were found in their system, they were amphetamines, which makes you awake, by the way. Now, if you found a lot of opiates in their system, I'd say otherwise. But the only thing found in their systems was a bunch of Adderall. Drug-wise, by the way.
Steak.
Did you just hear that when I played it real quick? Was the sound coming in?
Yeah.
It was? Okay.
Thank you.
This is actually going to be interesting. I have not watched this in a very long time, given all the documents and everything that we've seen. Have you?
I haven't watched this since we went over it.
Oh yeah. I think you were on the stream when we watched this and we heard why did he say humans?
And we were just infuriated because we were like, oh, so everything we said about not stalking, not like it was wild.
Well, let's see how this sounds today. This is one of my favorite things to do. I love to go back and listen to it. Let's listen. Tell me if you want me to stop it, by the way. Just start talking. I'll pause it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Just as a housekeeping matter to start, there will be the issue of restitution. That is, the documentation is being gathered, and we ask the court would defer that for 30 days so we can present it in an orderly fashion and make sure it's comprehensive for everyone.
Any objection to leaving restitution open in 60 days? All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think it's necessary and appropriate to share for everyone here, including the court, the background that brings us in front of Your Honor today for these proceedings. As the record reflects, and as everybody in this courtroom knows, the defendant has pleaded guilty to all 5 counts charged in the indictment. Under oath before Your Honor, he has admitted that the charges against him are true.
Oh, okay. Wait, pause.
He has reassured the
court.
This is what he had. This is what he had to start off with. Like we got this idiot to plead to these. We scared this motherfucker so bad that we literally pushed him into this guilty plea. We got this. We stonewalled the discovery so much. We buried the forensic reports so much. We buried the photographs. We buried the surveillance. We buried the timing advance reports. We covered this so well, Your Honor, that they agreed to this report. This is what he starts with. So see, guys, he pled to this. So that means everything we say from here on out is true. It's unbelievable. It makes me still physically ill hearing this.
There's emotional coercion to people that are listening.
I'm like so fucking mad right now when I hear this again. You can keep going.
Okay.
Court that he has not been coerced or threatened to make those admissions. And Your Honor did an extraordinary job in taking the pleas back on July 2nd. We appreciate the court's discipline and insight. The defendant has also waived appeal on the multitude of rulings from this court and Your Honor's predecessor in Latah County on dozens, literally dozens of motions seeking to dismiss the case, seeking to control or limit evidence, seeking to offer evidence that would not be appropriate. And we appreciate the court's consistent rulings based on the law, based on the facts.
This.
As Your Honor will recall, on June 18th, it's just really not that long ago, we appeared before this court for arguments on what became the defendant's final motions to this court. Motion where they wanted to offer evidence suggesting that other people were responsible for the defendant's actions, and the motion seeking essentially an indefinite continuance of the trial. It was readily apparent to all of us in the courtroom from Your Honor's comments that those motions were not going to be granted. So we returned to Moscow and continued with what we had been working on for months in preparation for trial.
Can you pause?
We had no qualms about going to trial if trial was what was necessary and appropriate.
Come on. Sorry.
So when he said, okay, that we waived literally, and they could not offer evidence consistent with the facts, and in their final motion offer evidence that other people were responsible and those motions wouldn't be granted. That doesn't paint, and I want to say this in hindsight, that's not painting in a light that see how correct we were. It's actually in hindsight painting, see how corrupt we are top to bottom, from the judicial system to the prosecutorial system to the investigatory body that did this case. That's what this is saying. It's saying, see, in their final motion, they offered all of this evidence of other people being responsible, but you, good sir, said, no, we're not going to take a look at that. You said no. So meaning we didn't get to explore the evidence that they had in their arsenal to prove the opposite of what we are saying. And because you shut that down, this person was pushed into a plea deal that he doesn't want to take, but doesn't want to be shot up in front of the public. And that's like so enraging.
I agree. No, don't apologize. I have a habit of crashing out and then apologizing, and the chat always checks me. They're like, stop apologizing after you crash out.
And then I get mad at Ann Taylor. I don't know if anybody else does, but this makes me mad at Ann Taylor. But then I'm like, did she know that all of this other stuff wouldn't come out, like we said, until this was signed? But is there a way for him to get out of it?
Sorry, I'm just typing out to the chat. I'm going to address the super chats at the end of the chat once we finish this. But yeah, I agree. Sammy, at what point is Ann Taylor's mega chess strategy one that we've never seen before? At what point is it not a thing?
I do feel sympathy for her because she...
But
I think
how long can the sympathy last?
I followed this case to the letter. And so right before the case got moved to this county, right, I saw Judge John Judge starting to fuck with Ann Taylor, meaning like he started seeing what she was saying truthfully. And he had such a well of knowledge on this case for real. And so he knew the ins and outs. He knew the motions by heart. He was very well versed on this case. I'm not saying he's not corrupt, but I started seeing a turning, which is why he ordered and he put a deadline on certain facets of the discovery that the prosecution had to turn over on certain deadlines. And then all of a sudden it was moved to a different district, and all of that got washed away. And I
Can
feel like it was a mistake because no matter where, because this case is national attention. It didn't matter if it was going to be in Moscow, if it was going to be in Leyte, or I'm sorry, what was this district? It was I forgot what county it was, but whatever Hitler County it was in, I felt like it didn't matter because the case had such national attention. You could say it was going to be biased anywhere because it was national. So I thought it was stupid to move the case, in my opinion.
Well, like this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I will get out in front of this. I am Monday morning quarterbacking.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, I am. If Ann Taylor and even Bill Thompson is saying that we've been preparing for this trial for years, and now after the fact, Sherlock's post says they didn't have these photos. Ann Taylor saying we didn't have all this. Okay, Ann, I understand that maybe there's a gag order, maybe there's whatever. Fine. If you can't reach out to the public, there's got to be people in your network of lawyers that would be willing to help you out as mentors because you were on the world's biggest case. And maybe she did. I don't know. But there just seems to be so much of this. She knew what she was doing. Whatever. And she could have. But what about now? What about now, guys? That's what I'm saying. Is like, where is the line out the door of young, aggressive, well-spoken attorneys that are ready to make their career on this case? Because this case is a career maker.
Or it's a career kill you.
I don't think it is.
No, I mean like literally.
Not publicly. Because guess what? The public hires lawyers. Not
right. No, I mean like literally murder you.
Oh, well.
Why do you think nobody's standing? People are standing 10 toes down to defend the person who's accused of murdering Charlie Kirk. And his defense team is saying, we don't need any of this. It's all public speculation right. And don't say anything. I personally believe if Ann Taylor, I emailed her multiple times during this. I think a lot of people did look at this, look at that. If you have to be absolutely, now I understand it could be hard to get certain pieces of discovery, but during this, before we even hit this point, or even in Hitler's court, I'm positive I'm not the only person who sent her things. I'm positive there's more people who sent her things. So it leads me to the conclusion the defense attorneys are set up too. They have to be.
I don't disagree with that. I have not sent Ann Taylor a message. I think that if I did, and I'm not even trying to be a dick, I would say, Ann Taylor, I respect you, but what the fuck are you doing? That might be the only thing that I type in my email. Is not that she would even respond, but it's just, what are you doing? This doesn't make sense. You can now talk about this. You can now get the same thing with the families. The public would be more than willing to be on your side. And there is nothing but an attack on the public for questioning.
Like, for example, I sent Candace Owens tips about the connections of the Franzfi family with certain people at TPUSA who got pushed forward, who are at the top of the company. And I showed her how, and she mentioned it in her show. Like I said, I don't want to be I don't mention nothing, blah, blah, blah. And she made this connection. Like she was like, these people knew each other, the Franzfi family, and that's from my email. I know it's from my email because it's like literally word for word what I said, how they knew each other for years, for decades. And I was like, they knew each other for decades before Charlie was involved with Erica. Like this was something that was building in the background. And then, in my opinion, they needed a bigger 501c or 501c3 to funnel things like money or whatever they were doing. They needed a bigger operation to funnel money with. And TPUSA is a perfect ticket. And I think that Ann Taylor got all of these tips and emails and just, I don't think there's any excuse.
It's like,
yeah, you saw that.
It's like you can't have somebody that's not playing chess in real life, you can't have all of us tell each other she's playing chess. We would, I mean,
Right. Yeah, I
to an
know.
extent, yeah, everybody gets what I'm saying. It's like respectfully, they're steamrolling you.
For
They're
sure. And
steamrolling you.
there's too many emotions that make her too articulate and smart to believe that she's just willfully, or she's not willfully blind, right? Like there's a willfulness in the blindness of what she chose. And like I said, I think her attack mechanism, if she were to go back and do it, or if there's some sort of appeals process, don't attack uh there is corruption, but I would attack the facts, attack the forensics, attack the what are you, because the prosecution has to lay out a timeline. A prosecution has to lay out when these events occurred, how long they took, what were the injuries. The blood tells the story, the injuries tell the story. You want to give it this amount of time. You want to say it's this car. We know it wasn't the car that you're saying it was. We saw the fog lights. There's so many things there that you can attack that factually say that it's not Brian. So where was this in the defense? And there was certain hearings, especially when it came to her having to do the Franks hearing and it being denied. I thought her argument in documents was sound. Like I went over her whole motion for it, why we needed a Franks hearing, and I agreed with it. But when she stood up in court and had to verbally say these things, it was weak. It was weak. Soft.
Thank you. Well, thank you for getting to that point, because if you didn't say that, I would have respectfully disagreed with you, where it's like she could talk about all the facts she wants. She could talk about all the BS railroading that happened. But where is this energy? You should have gone scorched earth. You should have walked out to the media, and people don't understand. When you're a defense attorney in a case like this, silence or restraint. Do you understand that you are not just a lawyer? You are the last line of defense in a human's life. You are the last line of defense. Where is the outrage? Where are the press conferences? Where's the call to the public? If you're getting railroaded, and don't tell me it's some bullshit gag order when you got everybody else breaking it. Amazon put out a goddamn fucking limited series.
Or do what Karen Reed did and promote a journalist who is highly invested in his freedom, the way that Turtle Boy was for Karen Reed. You know what I mean? You have to have somebody. I think it's really stupid that she didn't.
No, she's
see
just
she didn't see the public outcry and understanding and fuckery that we all saw. Like, we were decrying this stuff from the beginning. If she would have reached out to a social media influencer from the beginning, right, and said the same way, by the way, that the prosecution was reaching out to everybody, including documentarians, authors, leaking everything, which, by the way, was completely against both judges' orders. That nothing came of that for these people. Nothing. There were I yet to see a punishment for that, by the way.
No, I know.
I believe that they should have reached out more to people to push back, because I saw none of that same heat the way Karen Reed had support, and I believe Brian Koberger had it, and they just didn't go for it.
No, you're hitting the nail on the head, because instead, and it's like, I don't want to get visibly mad, guys. Right. And I appreciate you staying in a calm, soothing voice as I'm starting to yell. But seriously, it's like, but what did she do instead? It was this quiet motion, this legal etiquette. I'm sorry. That is a shit defense in a case like this, in the headlines. When you're playing against the media machine, you will lose every damn time.
You're playing with sharks that have everything in their arsenal. And by the way, they're playing dirty, and you know it.
Yes.
They're playing dirty, and you know it.
And that's the hard truth.
So why are you swimming in an environment that you aren't aware that you're in? It baffles me.
Stop playing chess and start throwing the damn chair, Ann.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
Start taking the axes and throwing them at the dartboard. Honestly.
It's wild. And I wanted to get to the part where Bill Thompson says that this is not a sexually motivated attack.
Yeah.
You know, but we don't even have to go through it because I don't even want to
I
look
like
at
it.
these.
I like it.
Okay, well, we can hopefully it's coming up soon. But yeah, Ann Taylor, stop playing chess, start throwing chairs, start saying it with your chest.
Too many passes, in my opinion.
All right, I'm gonna play it.
Following week after we were in court, we were approached by the defense with an inquiry about a possible plea. And I can tell the court this is the first suggestion ever that there was any.
Her face cracks me up right here. This lady.
Consideration, because indeed the defense had maintained from the beginning that Mr. Koberger, the defendant, was factually innocent.
This whole thing too, because it's like a na. You said this, and now you can't do shit about it because you signed this thing. And so all the things that they were projecting, alleging, whatever, they know they're in a bind. So they get to use every fraudulent, nonsensical bullshit allegation that they put out. Now they get to do this. They get to go poke in the eyes. They get to be the most fucking annoying twerps in the world in this speech. And Bill Thompson is he's that kid in A League of Their Own, you know, where he's like Stillwell Angel, and he's like, you're gonna lose, you stink. That's the vibe. That's the fucking vibe. And I want to be Tom Hanks. I want to take a baseball mitt and chuck it at that kid in the movie A League of Their Own and just knock him over.
Hypothetically. Not a threat. Yeah. But no, I agree. I mean, yeah, it does have that vibe. There's no doubt. That is that nana boo boo type vibe for sure.
No, for sure.
It's clear that the reality of the evidence and the case that had been investigated and prepared and that we were ready to present in court became a reality. Our reaction, among other things, was to reach out to all the families. And in fact, later that week, on Thursday and Friday of that last week of June, we met with representatives by teams, virtual meetings, with representatives of all the families. And we talked about the status of the case and the upcoming trial and things that related to the trial. And we also let them know that there had been an inquiry about whether there might be an offer for a plea. And we asked the family members for their thoughts and feelings. And they were candid. And they have been candid since, and we respect that. And we understand, recognize, and acknowledge that there was a difference of opinion among representatives of the different families. We understand that. One of the challenges of this case, one of the unique things about this case is we have multiple victims, each unique unto themselves, their families and friends unique unto themselves, and all of them entitled to their opinions, all of them entitled to their thoughts. Over the following weekend, our prosecution team, very skilled attorneys who were personally as well as professionally deeply invested in this case, met. And we talked, and the decision was reached. Well, to start with, were there to be any...
All right, that's interesting. Listen to what he says right here real quick. Again, kind of hanging on every word. He's like, and we talked. Well, so listen to it again.
In this case met. And we talked, and the decision was reached. Well, we talked, and the decision was reached. And we talked, and the decision was reached. Well, to start with, were there to be any sort of plea offer or discussion? There's only one possibility.
Okay.
And that would be for the defendant to plead guilty straight up to all charges.
Okay. So
There would be no bargaining.
could we let's give this an analogy, an analogous to start. This woman, she wanted to ask me out. She went up to me and asked me out. Well, I mean, I did friend request her and ask her on a DM that I thought she was really hot and I really wanted to go out with her. But well, she asked me out. That's what this is. That's what this is. This is a bullshit. And it's basically telling on himself that no. You offered this while hiding evidence, which makes it even more sinister, which Sherlock brought up. It's sick.
I agree completely. And I just want to hear him say, like, where he starts to get into all of the stuff, listening back, it's just like, are you kidding me? Like, it's just wild.
About the counts. There would be no bargaining about reduced sentences.
No bargaining.
And so we made the proposal to the defense that if the defendant was willing to plead guilty up front to all 5 counts as charged and waive appeal of the court's myriad decisions during the past 2.5+ years on all these motions that would have consumed years, if not decades, of time in the future. By the end of the weekend, we were notified the defendant was prepared to plead guilty as charged and factually acknowledge his responsibility in court for these horrible crimes. Obviously, those discussions and negotiations were confidential. And as Your Honor noted,
they're obviously confidential.
It was necessarily so, because if
he sees you,
the defendant had decided not to plead guilty, it would have been devastating to our jury pool for there to be public information that there had been consideration by either party to a plea resolution. And protecting the prospective integrity of a trial after so many years was paramount.
He knows when you're away.
So the end of the weekend came. We notified the victims' families of what had occurred. I recognize and acknowledge personally, and I respect the fact
So be good for good.
that of these fine, suffering people here, not everybody agreed with the decision we make. I accept that. It's my responsibility in the end. I recognize that that's the duty of the office that I hold. So now,
Watch out.
it is time for the judicial system to impose final judgment and close the door on this chapter of these tragedies. As the court is aware, by the agreement of the parties, it is the state's prayer. Perhaps have the Elmo police turned on.
I mean, this is she can barely control herself.
Thank you. Then on count 1, the felony burglary, the court sentenced the defendant to the maximum period of 10 years fixed in the custody of the Idaho Department of Correction. Then on count 2, that the court sentenced the defendant to fixed life for the murder.
Is he crying?
Maddie Logan.
What a fucking asshole. You piece of shit.
On count 3, that the court sentenced the defendant to fixed life for the murder of Kaylee Gonzalez.
Oh my God.
On count 4, that the court sentenced the defendant to fixed life for the murder of Xana Kernhodel.
Oh my God, what a fraud.
On count 5,
Do you think he meets with Erica Kirk?
that the court sentenced the defendant to fixed life for the murder of Ethan Chapin. And the state.
Do you guys care if I 2x this? This is going to take forever if I don't for the speed. I mean, it's really,
It's
this is
ridiculous.
going, yeah, this is wild, dude. I'm just going to.
Oh my
Third
God,
grade,
he's
he
such a
sentences.
drama queen.
It's too fast. I'll go 1.5.
Be ordered to run consecutively, back to back, not at the same time,
You fucking
to recognize
asshole.
and respect the unique individuality of each of these beautiful young people whose
Oh,
lives were taken brutally and for no reason. And hopefully now, as we have heard earlier this morning, it is time to afford the families and the friends and the community in the state of Idaho and the nation and the world to move forward. We can't undo, and we can never undo the horror of what occurred on the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022 at 1122 King Street in Moscow, Idaho. For a long time, the presiding district judge in Latah County was John Stegner, who eventually became a member and a justice of the Idaho Supreme Court. And Justice Stegner often observed that even God cannot change the past.
oh, you.
That everyone in
fucking
this room has the ability to take themselves forward. And we want the judicial system to afford them the opportunity today to do that. From today forward, our memories should be focused on these innocent victims whose lives were taken, on their families, on their friends, on the community. The court has heard discussion, talk today, reminiscences today about a special family that our victims shared, not just their natural, legal, and biological families, not just their university family within their sororities, for example. But this family.
Wait, what?
This is a picture taken on November 12th, 2022 of the special family of 1122
Oh, fuck this.
King Road.
Wait.
And you can see all 6
Pause.
of these dynamic, vibrant, loving,
This is fascinating because Candace Owens just brought this up in Erica Kirk's Zoom call before she fires all these TPUSA people that she considers, and she's not sure if they're sending things to Candace Owens. They weren't. They were doing 20-hour work days. In these calls, guys, she calls TPUSA employees for the first time her family. She says TPUSA family as an emotional manipulation. And when they got fired out of nowhere after working 20-hour days, they started going to Candace and they said they felt like they were in a cult. And they said the way that they felt like that is because Erica was calling them her family, TPUSA family. That right there, that's a picture, okay? That's a picture that they took after probably getting drunk at some football game. We've all lived in college and like had a great time. Lord knows I did. I wouldn't call any of the people I did keg stands with family. All right. This, what the prosecutor is doing right now, Bad Santa right now is doing the same familial manipulation that Erica Kirk is doing to the TPUSA employees, except for he's doing it to the larger public. Like, I know that the evidence doesn't fit, but he pled guilty. He waived his rights literally. And in the final motion, they just conceded. So everything we said was right. And look at this picture. This is a family. That's not a fucking family. I want to say this right now. Those people on that porch aren't a family. That's an emotional manipulation to get you to believe this narrative.
there is so much of the thread of emotional heartstrings being pulled when it comes to this. And you're right. I mean, you can just hear it in the language, whether it's from Bill Thompson, whether it's from the
Erica.
news. Yeah, and you can apply it to many situations. And I agree. And if you guys want to go watch this whole thing, I saw a couple of people asking where can they find the whole thing. It is on Law and Crime Trials. That's the channel on YouTube. And if you type in Brian Koberger's full sentencing for the Idaho college murders, don't just type in Bill Thompson Koberger sentencing full. You'll have to go to the second page. So if you go to Law and Crime Trials, maybe that'll pop up right away. So real quick, I just
to wrap it up.
Yeah. Yep. We'll wrap it up here. I want to just make sure that I address the super chats quick. And
I love the super chats.
Yeah, they're awesome. And I really enjoy kind of holding them to the end, especially when I have a guest on. I don't want to be rude to them or to anybody that's
never
on.
be rude. The Hive is everything.
Right. And I know sometimes it I get it. You send it because you're tuned in at that point. But right now is when I can kind of commit my undivided attention to it. So Reasonable Doubter brings up a great point. BK didn't confess to a crime. He was forced to survive a corrupt system. Listen to what we just listened to. If you don't have at least like 30% of your brain that would agree with that, there's probably no saving you. And you're probably the same type of person that would jump off a bridge because your friend did. Right?
So true.
Yeah. I don't know how else to describe it. Bemmy Rose says, I hope when he's vindicated, he sues the shit out of all of them.
Yeah.
I hope so. Because I could also see a big media play. I don't know if you could too, Sammy, where if he is vindicated, there's going to be a massive character slaughter on him still.
Well,
he beat it. He got lucky. It was internet conspiracy theorists.
I mean, people like I lived near Timothy McVeigh, and they said like the parents and everything, like people in the area knew who they were, and they always said that there was more than this person who was responsible for the Oklahoma City bombing. And the parents said it, he wrote letters to it, and then it just died. And so I think with something this massive, I think when you like just like 9/11 or anything else, you build like this media landscape that is so obsessive and like it shapes in a way that you can't poke holes in that narrative, whether it be Las Vegas. I think the Idaho 4, unfortunately, might be one of those narratives. I really do. It's the same thing with Scott Peterson. I mean, he's trying, but I believe it's really hard to knock on the door of some of those narratives and even crack it through.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And UK Karen, great to see you. Love the UK Hive. Love the Australia Hive. The Canadian Hive.
Australia? What part?
Well, no, this is UK Karen. But I'm just saying,
UK Karen.
Tia Marie, welcome to the Hive, because Tia Marie gave a super chat saying, I'm a newbie to this channel. Just started watching last week and I'm binging the awesome content. Great work. Well, thank you. Welcome.
I love her glasses. So cute.
Absolutely. And I love seeing that new people are tuning in. It's amazing. It's amazing. There are people that are looking for a place where they can come and say whatever the hell they want, right? We got Paul Taylor, follow frame 3579 says, I heard BK is going to be moved soon. Is that a chess move? You know what I mean? Not 100% though. Just here say, don't shoot flames. What if? No, I'm not going to shoot you down in flames by any means, because Gunna already got roasted on X all day because the Daily Mail's reporter that referenced that got called out. The Idaho Department of Corrections said, we are not familiar with anything that McDonough is claiming. Wild times. And it says that we are winning the narrative war. We are winning the narrative war. And Tanusi says, you both look very professed tonight, with a thumbs up. If BK did do this, all I could say, if it wasn't his first kill, ninja motherfucker. Too much effery to know what really happened or why the crime scene was contaminated. And I will just give a quick 10-second.
I love that she swears. Good listener.
Yeah, 10-second little tidbit on that is this. I agree. We're most likely never going to know what actually occurred in the house. I'm not saying that we're going to stop looking. In the meantime, we need to focus on This is a ridiculous narrative. This is wild, right? This is crazy. And we could still dive into all that. We will. I can't help myself. That's the way my brain's wired. But I do think there's an important aspect to spreading the word to the masses of this is not normal.
No, and I think it's important too to say like why the WSU loss? Why WSU? Like, why wouldn't you be suing the University of Idaho for not protecting your kids?
Right.
Why wouldn't you be suing them? Why would you be suing? And it's because they think it's proof of like direct causation that the WSU, that they didn't intervene. They didn't do enough. But like I said, who's to say, even if you fired the guy, he wouldn't just on his own accord do these things you're alleging he's going to do. This is ridiculous. It makes absolutely no sense. I think it's a way to keep their side of the story in the press and keep exemplifying things like Jennifer Kovadeffer, sexual crimes, stalking, this, that. Nonsense. So we're just going to be louder and make fun of all these people.
Right. We're not making fun of the families. We're not making fun of the victims. We're making fun of the people that get paid a lot of money and that are quote unquote professionals that clearly don't read a damn document at all. So that's what we're clowning. Let's make that crystal clear. And Sammy, thank you so much for this evening. To everybody that tuned in, you guys rock. Please, please, please hit the like button on your way out. I will see you next Thursday in a suit with Sammy T Mafia.
I love the dressing up, by the way. So I dressed up one day and I said, I dressed up for work. I'm wearing a suit and tie to work, like on my own. And Bertie said, should I dress up too? And I said, they might take us more seriously. Let's dress up. And so that was our idea. Like, they might take us more seriously. And everybody loved it so much. So I said, let's do dress up on Thursdays. Let's suit up on Thursdays. It's so fun.
I love it. And I'm saving it just for Thursdays because I will agree with some people. It's not the typical vibe of the Hive. But now that you guys know kind of the inside joke that Sammy and I came up with, it's a thing. So I will be suited up on Thursdays and so will Sammy.
I never buy clothes off the rack. I always my favorite thing to do is haggle on Poshmark. So this is like a Karl Lagerfeld jacket, but I never, ever buy things off the rack. My favorite thing to do is go to Poshmark and lowball people. And I'll be like, who's going to bite and actually take my bid on something? I never buy anything new. I never buy everything off the rack. My favorite thing in the world to do is argue and haggle with people over clothes on Poshmark. Just saying.
I love that. Well, thank you again, Sammy. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central. Don't forget, tomorrow night's the call-in. So if you got some thoughts on the Idaho 4, recent documents, the lawsuit, the articles, the headlines, if you want to call in and bitch at me, feel free. 7 p.m. Central tomorrow evening will be the Hive Mind call-in. I'll see you then. Cheers.
Ooh, fun. Bye, guys.
See you, Sammy. Whoops.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.